Hey, Sean, welcome to the Level Up podcast show, man. We're happy to have you on.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Look forward to chatting with you.
Perfect. Yeah. So where are you located? It looks like, are you in Texas? Is that right?
I am in Texas. We're in Dallas, Fort Worth,
Okay.
in Fort Worth to be exact. But Dallas, Fort Worth is a pretty big area. We service mostly the Fort Worth side of it and North Dallas.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I was able to check out your website and some of your content. So some of the stuff you've got on there looks really good. I think there's always room for improvement with any of us, but I think what you've got on there is a good start. I like that you've got your calendar invite on there for people to book appointments or using some of those resources. And then I was able to go through a little bit of your flip chart. There's some good, really good information in there for what you present to a homeowner for the inspection process.
Yeah, we're always adding a little changes to our website. It's like my weekly to do. I like to add little changes so that it keeps us up there on the Google ranking a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
As much as we can with the competition in DFW, it's hard to stay where I want to be.
Exactly. So you're in Texas, you have family there. What do you have for family?
I have aunts and uncles, my parents, and then the rest of my family, my immediate family is sisters. One of them's in Mexico and one of them's in Chicago.
Wow.
So
What part of Mexico is your sister in?
she likes to live in Playa del Carmen.
Okay.
Or I think she changes from Playa del Carmen to Tulum and then in or around that area.
She
And
she's living it up.
yeah, so she's a digital nomad. She can work from almost anywhere. She's a remote worker, and a few years ago she was over in like Thailand and Asia, but
Wow.
right now she just left Mexico for a little while and she's in Chicago with my sister and my mom and my dad they're all in Chicago. I'm in Texas still there enjoying the snow.
Hey, it's cold there. I'm in Minnesota, so it's like really gonna be nasty cold this weekend. I wish I had a flight booked somewhere warmer because they're talking like -30 with the wind chill. I think it's like -19 overnight. It'll be definitely probably negative to zero temps during the day.
Ouch.
Saturday and Sunday. Not fun, man. But yeah, Texas is a good spot. My mother-in-law and father-in-law moved to the McAllen area. So they're in like a little community. It's pretty fun. We go down there and golf with them and do some of that. We try to get down there at least once a year if we can. So yeah, Texas
Awesome.
is a good spot. I've been to quite a few different spots in Texas. It's such a big state. It feels you're literally I remember when we took a road trip. It was a spring break trip. This is many years ago, obviously, but I would say, boy, if I had to guess, what would I guess? How many years ago that? Yeah, like 18 years ago, probably. Anyways, we drove across the United States and literally it felt like half of our drive was just driving through Texas, coming
I,
through.
I can imagine. So you said McAllen, that's down by the border, right? So McAllen to me, I think it's 7 or 8 hours just driving through Texas to get there.
Yeah.
Funny story, I was going down to Houston one day and my son played with my phone or my daughter the day before or maybe
Yeah.
earlier that week. They turned off avoid highways.
Oh,
They
oh
turned
no.
on avoid highways. And I left during rush hour, 8 a.m. rush hour. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is strange. It's taking me on the back way. I've been on this back way during rush hour to go to Rangers game. I was
Yeah.
like, but then
It kept
two
you on
hours
that back way.
2 hours into the drive, I'm like, why have I not gotten on 35 or one of the main highways? I've been on all these country roads.
Right.
And that evening, I looked at my phone settings and I was like, oh, they, one of my kids must have
Isn't that
avoided highways. And
isn't
so
that funny? Yeah. I've done
I,
it. I've done it. I've done it myself. I know the pain.
I had a really scenic route that day. I was like, man, I've never seen these parts of Texas. Like, I went through some really small towns that were really
Yeah.
like country and just like a few hundred people. It was nice seeing that part of Texas, to be
It,
honest.
it's fun, right? For a change. Like you didn't
Yeah.
plan it out. You would have never done that had that not happened that way. But it's also funny how much we rely on technology. I like remember like the MapQuest and OnStar. I'm horrible with directions. So I remember when I was in the mortgage industry, I used to use this OnStar. I don't know if you've ever used OnStar, but it's a voiceover. They'll tell you, like, literally it'll be a live person on the phone and she'll say, okay, you're coming up to Scenic Street, take a right. Okay, now take a left on such and such street. So I would depend on that to get to these customers' houses. And sometimes if the reception dropped out, I'd be like frustrated. I'm like lost. I'm like, where do I go now? Like the MapQuest where you'd print out the MapQuest directions. But yeah, it's funny. I've done that before where I've definitely had the highways turned off.
Yeah, I rely on it, and sometimes my phone goes out of batteries, and I've been in DFW for 15 years, so as long as I just drive straight, I'll hit a highway, and then I can figure out my way back to home or something. But I couldn't imagine it 15 years ago or 20 years ago doing it all by maps. I'd be like, hey, I only want to work my small area, not go
Exactly.
45-minute drives to storms or different areas of DFW.
Yeah. So you have a family. It sounds like you have a son and a daughter. Is it just a son and daughter, or how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids. I have 2 daughters and 1 son. One's 7 today.
Okay.
The son is 7 today. And then I have a 9-year-old daughter and an almost 2-year-old daughter.
Wow. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, they give you a run for your money. You've got some young ones in there too to keep it busy.
Yes, and I'm in a neighborhood right now where my kids are running around on bicycles, and I'm chasing them down and not knowing where they are at friends or playing with friends. And
Yeah,
man, it's like the 80s, but it's a little scary with
it is.
nowadays. I like that they're outside and not stuck on iPads, but I'm also like, man, it's a little strange sometimes when they're running around.
I agree. It's wild. My wife and I were just talking about that the other day because I'd be biking around with friends. I'd be like miles away from home, and it was fine. But nowadays with everything going on, you just can't do that anymore. You got to know where your kids are at. It's just
Yeah,
kind of sad, but it's just part of the times now.
definitely.
So what does your wife do then for work?
She works on the house and the family and the kids and making sure everybody's at school on time and stuff like that. Like dinner and
Yeah, it's a big
laundry.
job. That's a
And
big job. Full-time job, yeah.
yeah, she's constantly doing something.
That's great. My wife is home most of the time too. She's got a pretty cool job where she can work from home. I've given her the opportunity just to do the stay-home mom thing, but she likes her job and it's very flexible and it provides benefits for the family. So there's a bonus there because I'm self-employed. I'm sure that side of things. So it's beneficial to have the benefits on her side. But yeah, she only goes into the office 1 day a week. So she's working from home most of the time. And she's able to do a lot of stuff while she's working as far as laundry and that kind of stuff and just help with, yeah, I don't know what I'd do without her. She manages the schedule and everything. I'd be lost, but I take care of the financial part of taking care of the family for the most part. I'm sure that's obviously your role too, it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah. So for how long have you been in the roofing industry? How did you end up getting into it? You want to take me through a little bit of your story?
Yes, I've been in it for 15 years. I was looking on Craigslist for sales and marketing or selling a big ticket item. Commission was like what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I had two people that reached out one for roofing and one for Bible sales.
Okay.
And I went to the roofing interview first.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not much of the Bible churchgoer.
Yeah.
And so I canceled the interview with the Bible sales, and right away I liked the roofing, the promises that I heard from the roofing. I didn't know that people in DFW needed roofs as much as they did and as often as they did. I started with one company, moved to another company. I stayed with the second company for about 5 years, and I started training within 6 months of being with him. I started training the other sales guys, and then he wanted to grow his business. He asked me to help him recruit some people. And so I was recruiting people, and then I recruited some of my friends. They're people that I knew as well. And then after about 5 years, I got to the point where I was capped at pay, and I was like, man, I want to have more control over all the ideas and the market. Yeah. I wanted more control over everything. Me and one of my friends opened a roofing company, We ran a roofing company for 3 years. He got married and they wanted to open a separate company, so we split.
Okay.
So about 7 years ago, I opened Becker Roofing and Exteriors with just my wife and I.
Perfect.
And then I grew Becker Roofing and Exteriors quite a bit till about 2021. We had about 15 people on average working for us.
Okay.
And in 2021, I took on some apartment jobs that were, I just got brutally sidetracked on. Like, I had
Okay.
a big loss on them. So I've been trying to fix from those losses. I've been downsizing with my team and really just trying to recoup from those losses for the last few years.
Got it.
And whatever keeps me going, I'm just like, man, just keep on going. For some
Yeah.
reason, I keep making enough money to pay most of the bills
Yeah.
and I keep on going. And that's been like, I've been through some really rough times since that loss, but I've also had some really good signs of, hey, this is going to work out. You just got to have faith in it. And so I just keep plugging along, and I'm hoping that someday that I'll be done with the loss. Like either the lawsuit will cut, or like we'll have a judgment and I get paid back, or I just sell enough for roofs that like don't care about that. And I think the
Yeah.
latter will happen. I'll just sell enough for roofs and take it as a humongous learning lesson, a life changer.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty cool things happen since the loss. I got really into church and got baptized. Ended up having my third kid, which I wasn't planning on a third one, but being in the Catholic religion, they were like, "Hey, keep having kids." So I tried.
Yeah.
My wife cut me off at the third one. She was like, "No more."
No more.
Uh, yeah, she was like, "No more. We're too old. We're 40, 42, or I'm 42 now."
Yeah.
She was like, "I don't want to go through that again." But it got me really into just having a lot more faith and studying all the miracles that Jesus has done. So
Amazing.
and I wouldn't have a third kid, third baby without this loss, I feel like. So I trump all those things up to the loss. I'm okay. If that's what it
Yeah.
costs, that's worth it.
I love that. It's all perspective, right? You can sit there and focus and feel sorry for yourself and all this, all that, and it's not going to get you anywhere. Or you can dust it off and say, you know what? I learned from it. Sometimes the losses are where we learn our greatest lessons on life, or it can bring our greatest gifts, like you're referring to with your relationship with God and with Jesus and being closer with that side of it, which is ultimately all that matters in the end, is
Yep.
having a closer relationship with him and being there for our family. And even going through those hard times as a family together can be good for everybody involved too, from the kids to your wife. It can be hard in the moment, but I think it's good at the end of the day. I've gone through my fair share of troubles too. I just finished up a lawsuit, so I know you're paying there. I hope you get through it. It was like a year and a half, and then we finally came to a settlement 4 months ago. But oh my gosh, the attorney fees and the stress and all the mounting pressures that causes is a lot. So I know exactly what you're going through. I can relate from that aspect of things.
Yeah.
So
I've read a lot too from other people that like really successful people. Almost everybody's had a few hard years and then
yeah,
they get out of it and they just know a lot more and they're more resilient.
exactly. You got to go through the hard stuff. I've gone, yeah. Again, you're a likable guy. I'm sure we'll have more conversations in the future, but I could tell you some stories. I could probably write a book, honestly, with some of the stuff I've been through, and I'm sure you could too. But yeah, I don't take it back. Looking back, some of those losses and failures that I've had have made me a better businessman. They've humbled me. They've given me a different perspective on what's important in life, that kind of stuff. So I think at the end of the day, it's all good, right?
I think so too.
Yeah. But no, it sounds like you're a fighter. You're doing the right things. You're definitely, seems like you're a great guy. So I think doing good things and treating people the right way and taking care of your customers and being a good steward, I think all those blessings will multiply. So I think you're on the way up the hill and hopefully starting to get to the better side of things too.
Yeah.
It's almost like a flower or something coming through the ground, right? Where it's got all that hard work, you can't see it, but then you start to a lot of people give up before it blooms and before it actually breaks through. But there's all that time that it's working and doing what it needs to do that you can't see it, but then you can see it as it breaks through the ground. So I think a lot of that is relatable in business and some of our stuff that we go through too as well.
I definitely can agree. I've never heard that analogy, but I like it.
Yeah.
I've always heard the rocket ship takes a lot of fuel to take off.
Yeah.
or other ones, but no, there's been a lot of other great things. With the third kid, I was like, man, I need more income, more streams of income.
Yeah.
I've created a couple more business ventures and partnered up with a few people. So
that's great. What else are you doing, if you don't mind me asking, if you don't mind sharing?
I had an HVAC, I had a big apartment deal that I was working where we got a lot of ACs approved for replacement from the insurance company.
Yep.
And the owner of the complex was like, hey, I got my own AC guy. And I was bummed out at first. I was like, man, we got a really great approval on this. And he was like, I can do all the units for half of what you're quoting half of the units for. And I was like, how are you doing that? And he goes, oh, I'm going to do a government grant. And so for low income apartment complexes, there's these government grants that they can do.
Wow.
The energy companies don't want to build more infrastructure.
Yeah.
They would rather put more money into upgrading an apartment complex on that, like 2 apartment complexes on that corners.
Sure.
If they replace all their HVAC units, they cut like a quarter of the energy consumption, or 50-60% of the energy consumption, and they don't have to build more power lines and bigger power lines.
Wow.
Don't have to upgrade the grids. There's a lot of untouched money in multifamily with grants that are available.
That's cool. That's great. So you tapped into that and you're able to help on that side of things.
So the guy that beat me, I ended up saying to that apartment owner, hey, I need to meet your HVAC guy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to know how he beat me. And so I started talking to him and I was like, look, man, I need to help you with some of your marketing. I know, like, I work with apartment owners on roofs.
Yeah.
And this will come up more and more. And I ended up helping him write a book about the whole process, because it's like insurance. It's like, really, it's a huge discount, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So the apartment owners, they might want to do it, but most of them don't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the HVAC guys don't do it either. This guy specializes in the grant process of it, and he really knows the grant stuff. And he told me enough over 6 months that I started with ChatGPT. I started like typing out an outline for a book, and then all of a sudden I was like, hey man, I think we need to release a book about this that we can give to apartment owners. Yeah. And they can learn about it, and then they can call us and say, hey, I want you to do this for me. I don't want to do it myself. That seems kind of hard.
Yeah, that's great.
So I wrote a book on multifamily called Multifamily Energy Savers Guide.
Cool.
And basically it's how to get grants for insulation, how to get grants for HVAC.
That's so cool, man. That's great. It's unbelievable what you could do with ChatGPT, how it'll literally just write the book for you that way too. You still got to modify things, but it's amazing how it can definitely help with that creativity of helping with the flow, where it can do 90% of it, and then you just got to edit the rest of it out.
Yeah, I did the first 10% and the last 10%.
Yeah.
And it did 80%. And that was the second book I wrote. The first one was brutal. It wasn't brutal. It was a long process.
Yeah. And that was without ChatGPT. That was you writing it out. Wow.
Yeah, that was me talking with a business coach once a week for an hour, and then he'd transcribe it, and then a week later he'd have a formatted transcription of what we talked about the prior week.
Yeah.
Editing it for about a year. ChatGPT, I did it in about 12 hours, and I still spent 3 or 4 months on like revising it, getting pictures and publishing it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot quicker, and I think I spent about $500 or $700 on that project compared to my first book. I spent about 10 grand.
Oh man, crazy. That's
yes, wild. It is pretty awesome. I've been diving deep into ChatGPT for a few years, and there's just amazing things you can do with it.
It is wild, isn't it? How much it's changing and what it can do. Yeah. There's good and bad with it. right? There's
There definitely is.
yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, that's a whole nother subject. We'll save that for another podcast show. Yeah.
For sure.
So are you doing primarily, are you taking a mix? I'm assuming you're doing a mix. It sounds like you're very familiar with the storm side, which I am as well. So you do storm and then you do a lot of retail as well? Or what would you say your mix of business is if you were to do it as a percentage?
I would say it's probably 70 storm, 30% retail.
Okay.
We still do a ton of storm, but I do have a lot of customers that are commercial or that they're refinancing like an apartment complex and they're like, hey, I'm doing a finance next June. The
Yeah.
property will be way more valuable to do the roofs before the refinance and they don't have a storm date. Or it's 20-year-old roofs and the policy went ACV and their deductibles are too high per building.
Yeah.
Some of the policies have a per building 5% deductible.
Right. Yep.
And
Get expensive on the deductible side.
yeah, if you do a roof claim, like they're not going to pay out anything after that 5% deductible. And
Yeah.
so it's a mixture, but I still do a ton. There's still a lot more storm for us.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to have a mix. It's definitely good to have it, especially with the industry changing as much as it is on the insurance side. It's definitely, I know it goes in cycles for whatever reason. State Farm and some of the others have just been horrible. It's 2 years. Sorry, I'm working from home today, so you hear the dogs in the background. I'll edit that out later.
No problem. No, we're seeing the same thing in Texas. It's not just State Farm. We've been having bad luck with the USAA and Allstate, Travelers.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are tightening their belt quite a bit.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So you're seeing that across the board, like with all of them right now. Yeah, it's definitely changing from that standpoint. Is that where you're looking for some additional creative marketing just to generate more traffic back in terms of like more people coming back to you wanting to do roofs through the retail side?
Yeah, with writing the books, I've gotten into the news articles and Dallas Morning News.
Yeah.
And so I get a lot of people that call me from those articles, and some of them are like, man, I've had my roof last for 30 years. I feel bad at claiming it on insurance when I haven't had a hailstorm in 10 years. They were like, I'm just going to pay for it out of pocket. And so they finance it, or the roof's just old. There's some lucky ducks around DFW that they haven't had any hail for 25 years, or it's so wear and tear that you can't see the hail that it's just, they're like, hey, I'll just pay for it out of pocket. And they either pay for it out of pocket with their own cash or they finance it.
Hey, so here's what I think we should do, Sean. I owe you another professional podcast without the noise in the background for you to be able to share and stuff like that. So I'll definitely do that. We'll set up another time. But for 1 second, let me quiet these guys down. Hey. No. I'm going to go through a couple of questions here just to be able to go through we have an AI generated program that basically it's really cool. And I'll share with you how it works, but it'll basically take all of your pain points and it'll put it into like an action plan that here's what you're doing really good at. Here's where we could potentially help you at in some of these different categories. So I'm going to run through some of that for the sake of time today. And then we'll definitely schedule another time, probably two different more sessions. I definitely want to do one session where it's just a professional setting where I'm interviewing you. We'll go through some of the stuff we've already talked about, but showcasing your company where you can basically reshare some of that through your socials and that kind of thing. And then the other call will be going through that basically workflow on how we can help you. So what are some of your biggest pain points right now? And the more you tell me, the better. Just keep that in mind.
Cool. I would say one of the biggest is cash flow. That's one thing, is having enough from job to job or paying the employees between slow times, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay.
And then generating leads that move on, like that want to move forward fast.
Yeah.
and getting through the insurance process faster or getting through the retail side faster. Just having customers that, hey, they already have a scope of work, or they already have insurance proceeds, or they already have the funding, or they already have the want to call the insurance today, not like a month from now.
Exactly.
We meet a lot of people and they're like, hey, you can look at the roof, and then it's follow up, and then they call the insurance, and then insurance denies it, and then we have to reinspect it, go to appraisal. And it's a
You
three
can't,
month.
the sense of urgency is just not there. It's hard to get them to finally get to the point of where you actually make money on the client, like the real part. Yep. Gotcha.
So I would say those are probably our big pain points. The amount that are needing to go to appraisal right now compared to just being funded right off the first or second inspection. I
Yep.
think that's a pain point too.
Yep. Are you using a supplemental team for that, or who are you working with for going through appraisal?
We are using a supplemental team. Like I have this guy that owns another roofing company in Keller, Hayden Schultz. He does a lot of appraisals for us. And then with big commercial jobs, we have a law firm that typically will take over to try to speed the claim process up.
Okay.
And
Got it.
so there's those two things that kind of help out, but I try not to use one appraiser like nonstop. Like I've used like probably 5 or 10 in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know if it's good to always refer the same guy. I pretty much change up here and there, but
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's the last 2 years, the insurance has been really slow to respond to supplements as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's changing as well. What are you doing? What are you using for a CRM?
AccuLynx.
Okay. AccuLynx. I've used AccuLynx in the past. They're definitely more expensive than some of the others. Have you tried any of the others just to save on costs?
I have tried Proline. I like Proline a lot.
Okay.
And that one was a really good one. It's just that we couldn't get out of AccuLynx because a lot of our information was in AccuLynx.
That's where they get you. Yeah.
And it was really expensive to keep AccuLynx and Proline, so I dropped Proline and I downsized to AccuLynx. So it was like, man,
Sucks when they get you that way. I know I've ran multiple CRMs with that too, as far as the client. Because you got to have it in case something comes up or jobs are still active. It's where they get you. So I understand that. Who are you using for a supplier? Is ABC Supply down in that area too, or who are you using?
We use QXO, which is Beacon. Beacon got bought out by QXO, and then we use a lot of Lowe's with Owens Corning. They sell Owens Corning. Been doing Lowe's a lot.
Got it. And then what are you using for marketing right now? Are you doing everything yourself? Have you ever hired like a marketing agency in the past? And if you can go into that a little bit.
So we have hired marketing agencies in the past for retargeting ads and I've done telemarketing leads a long time ago. I've tried the Facebook ads quite a few times and I haven't had good luck on those.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that we're doing is knocking doors has always been beneficial to us.
Yeah, knocking doors has been the best outcome. As hard as bad as it sucks, it's what has always generated the most in that, from my experience too. So I can I'll let you keep going. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, that's all right. I do a lot of blogs.
Yeah.
I have a AI generated blog software that I use. Basically, I put in like keywords and like a paragraph of what I want to write about, and then it'll create me like a 2,000, 3,000 word blog.
Yep.
And we post those to our website. We post showcases to our website, like from Company Cam.
Yep.
And then the books have been pretty awesome. Writing the books, basically handing those out to apartment owners, handing those out at conventions for apartment owners, setting up a table for like a home and garden show and having the books is pretty good. Generally, people that read the books are like normally want to learn about the stuff and then they want to buy. And I like those customers a lot.
Yeah. Cool. Great.
And I think I did the do-it-yourself SEO class with, I think, roofing SEO school.
Okay.
And so I've tweaked a lot of stuff on my website to try to drive SEO and see my ranking. And then I use AI to like audit my website here and there. And I'll be like, hey, what do I need to do to change it? And it'll tell me, hey, you're too wordy, or it sounds like blog on your homepage, which right now I think my homepage is like a little bloggish, like long worded.
Clean it up. Less is more sometimes for what they initially see, because they can get lost in too much information. And but it can be good though too. You've done a really good job, by the way. So you definitely deserve a pat on the back, because you're definitely going outside of the box in terms of trying to generate that traffic with the blogs, because a lot of that stuff does circle back to you with the algorithms. As a lot of the stuff that you're doing is really good. You're on the right track. So kudos to you for that. Thanks. Like I said, there's always room for improvement. We don't know what we don't know, right? So there's other areas where it just might be a small tweak here and there, just to be able to get you to that next piece, to be able to definitely see the kind of results that you're looking for. So it's hard though. It's hard to generate leads traditionally out, and it's ever changing, right? The minute you think you got it figured out through some of this stuff, then the algorithms change again, and it's, gosh darn it. If you're not on top of it, and you don't know exactly what's going on as things are being changed, all of a sudden what was working isn't working anymore. So it's a constant to stay in front of that. That's where it can be beneficial if you do have the right team that's just their dedicated specialty, so that you can keep doing what you're good at. And that's obviously taking care of your business and doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that they wouldn't be able to do. But yeah, you're doing the right things, man. So kudos to you on that. So you've done some marketing stuff in the past. Tell me about that. What you said it hasn't really worked. Is that with the marketing company where they're running ads like Facebook marketing and it just didn't generate?
Yeah, I've had ads ran on Facebook marketing, and it just seems so many of the appointments or inspections they were like, oh, we didn't mean to book it, or they were like, that wasn't me. And so I've had a lot of ad spend on Facebook, and it just didn't work out. With Google, they were better, I think. Google Guaranteed, I think, was a lot better. But yeah, I haven't seen a lot of traction from the ad spend. I've done direct mailers. That's pretty good, but it takes like thousands of mailers to get one inspection or two.
Exactly.
And then the telemarketing, I've done a lot of lead packages. In 2015, it was pretty awesome. I would say that was like our main lead driver in 2015. But all of a sudden, people started getting so fed up about the phone calls. Door knocking's been like, I don't mind the door knocking. I just hate the phone calls.
I know. Though the phone calls have been, you're right. It's been worse. My phone, I can't figure out. I've done like spam blockers and stuff, but for whatever reason, it's gotten bad. Like within the last 6 months, something's got to stop with that, because people are getting.
But they have people out there that are on the do not call list waiting for you to call them on accident, and they'll sue you if you call them. With my old company, we got sued one time for calling this one guy twice in 6 months.
Really?
Yes, he was on the do not call list, and
he literally pursued it. Wow.
He pursued it, and then we hired a lawyer to fight it, and then the lawyer was like, hey, it's cheaper to just pay him what he's asking than to go to court over this.
Wow.
And it was like $4,500.
Wow. So imagine doing that. You could probably start a business just going after all these companies that are do not call.
There's a guy on Facebook that I actually am friends with that I keep seeing his posts, and that's what he does for the last 6 months. He's made like 10 grand and he's always like, oh yeah, I book an inspection with the robocaller, and then they come over, and then I get the company's information, and then I file a lawsuit on that company.
Wow.
That's wild. I'm just like, oh, that's brutal.
That is brutal. I don't think I could do it. Even talking out loud, it's more of a joke than anything. But yeah, that's wild that people are actually.
I've been sued that way, so I wouldn't do it. I'm like, no, that was a chump move in my opinion, but.
Exactly. I agree. Okay. Anything else you can think of pain points wise that you'd like to see fixed? Possible.
Yeah, I think those are the main things. Getting consistent leads without having to door knock would be a good one. That would be our biggest one. Or
Yeah.
showing up online and having people fill out our form to get a free inspection would be awesome.
Cool.
Being
Cool.
being in the top ranking would be great, but
Yeah.
yeah, all those things.
Sounds great. And you've downsized your team a little bit. Are you looking to increase the company from that standpoint as far as recruiting and bringing people on? Are you looking for any help on that, or where are you at on that? And take me through your current size and where you want to go with the company.
Yeah, right now it's just me and another sales guy. Really, I have one full-time sales guy, and then I have a sales guy that's very part-time in San Antonio.
Okay.
But I used to have 6 or 7 of them, and just really it's been hard for me to train people and keep people. Like last year, I recruited about 5 or 6 at a time, and then all of a sudden, like slowly everybody dropped off except for one stayed, and then that one dropped off. And it's just been a struggle for me to retain people.
Yeah.
And I started this newest guy, I've been paying him weekly and then a bonus instead of a commission. And I think that's been a pretty good change in plans because I just need more sales to even out the base pay. And
What are you doing for a commission split right now? Are you offering, I know the laws have changed a lot too, as far as like, it's hard to be able to have independent contractors straight across the board. So you're doing a combination of W-2 and
yeah, so it's
1099.
we're doing like 800 to 900 a week, and then 1 to 4% depending on how much they sell.
Okay. 1 to 4%, depending on what they sell. That's tough. That's tough on your side because if they're not performing, you're putting a lot of money out there. And it's tough on their side because I'm not going to say it demotivates them, but if you got a guy that's a leech, he can just leech on that smaller number and just coast where I got enough to get by. And you're looking for that guy that wants to get to those bigger numbers. So it's beneficial for both, where he's paying for himself too, where you're not just putting the money out there and not seeing the bigger results. So yeah, that's tough. Okay. So that gives me a little information on that. I'll see how I can maybe help you with some of that. What was the other question I was going to ask? Okay. And where do you want to go with the company? Do you want to be able to own it forever and pass it down to your boys as like a legacy where they take over the roofing, or do you have a goal to sell someday? What's your main goal for it?
My main goal is to be sellable, but not sell.
Okay.
Like I'd like to pass it down to my kids, but I'd also like to have the option to sell if they don't want it.
Yeah.
They're going to be doctors and lawyers or they're going to be videographers or whatever they want to be, like a pilot, and they don't want to be roofers or business owners. And I'd like the option where it's, hey, it can be sold.
Cool.
My goal is to work less and be able to manage less and have managers and people in place that can run the roofing company. I mean, for quite a while, I was only focused on commercial stuff.
Yeah.
The residential kind of like where it was running itself, and very rare did I have to help out on any of the residential stuff. But as I lost more and more salespeople, I've had to jump into the sales position.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoy selling more than the managing side of things, but I'd like to step in. I'd like to have the option to sell commercial and have somebody manage the rest of the stuff.
Got it. Yeah.
Just recently, I think in October, that's when I lost my operations manager, and that's when I was like, I need to get back into the management, and I'm still selling hardcore. So it's a little bit of I got multiple hats right now, but also I'm enjoying it for the time being.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, you're just getting in there doing what has to be done, man. You got to sometimes just roll up your sleeves and go back to some of the other stuff. So I get it. What are you currently doing in annual revenue right now?
We're probably doing $1 million. We've been consistent at 2 million to 4 million the last few years, but this last year I'd say we're right over $1 million.
Okay. Where do you want to be? What's your goal?
I think 4 or 5 million would be sweet, and then grow from there if we can, if it's not too much of a headache and not too stressful. I'd like to go for 20, 40, 50. Just I want a good team that could professional and manages. I don't want to be out of control. Company where it's like pulling my hair out to constantly recruit people to. I don't want to be a revolving door with salespeople. I like keeping people around, and I'd like to teach people how to be high performers, and then see them stay with me for 5 years, 10 years. And love selling commercial jobs and residential jobs.
Yeah. I love that. Cool. Yeah, I've been on that side. So a little on my background, the last company is T10 Construction is the last company that I built. And we scaled that over a 6-year period from basically nothing, a startup, to 25 million was our highest year when I did my exit. So we were starting to talk with private equity groups and that kind of thing. Me and the owner were, to be quite honest with you, weren't on the same page, hadn't been for really years. I managed the sales side. He managed the back office side as far as like the production and all of that. It worked really well. I definitely had a lot to do with the scaling numbers in terms of bringing in people, recruiting, training, going through that whole process. And definitely it was a lot of work, but it was crazy. It definitely had to have the right systems and processes and stuff in place. But we did have a really aggressive pay scale with that too. So we were able to retain really top talent as well as pull talent in, because we were doing a 50-50 split on the profit. That was before some of the laws had changed with us, them cracking down on basically saying, oh, you can't say they're 1099 and have them be an independent contractor when you're telling them where to go and giving them company leads and giving them, they're more on the W-2 side. So the laws started changing towards the tail end of my exit. But yeah, we built a big team. I can share some of that with you in terms of stuff we've done. I've done it all from the Facebook marketing to TV advertising campaigns. We spent a lot of money on that. I can share that campaign with you. I think we paid $180,000 for the top news channel station in my area, which is KARE 11 News. We were advertising around the Olympics, but it didn't generate nearly what we thought it would. But the name recognition we knew that going into it. We were looking to get that name recognition. So from that standpoint, it definitely helped. But I don't know if I could go back and just tell you like where I was the most happy. It was right in that sweet spot close to the numbers you were talking about, where we were the most profitable. And because as we continued to scale higher, it was more money, more problems, a thing where the higher numbers, it sounds like crazy, like we were making a lot of money, but we had a lot of money going out as well. So I would say where we were the most profitable was right in that 10 million, 8 to 10 million was like the sweet spot for us. We had 15 really good sales guys versus at the top of it, we had 30 sales guys to get to that 25 million mark. And out of those 30, not all of them were high performers, but we had some really top guys that were writing in that 3 to 4 million per year on an annual basis. But where we probably had the most success was the door knocking, like we talked about. We spent a lot of money on door knocking. We had door knocking teams. When a storm would hit, our guys would come in and we would flood the area and take over that whole area where that storm was. But yeah, man, I guess going back to all that, I can relate to you, and I know your pain from that standpoint. But I definitely think there's some areas that I learned through that scaling process where I'd love to pass down to you and just help you wherever I can, just little spots. But there's, like I said earlier, you're doing some things really well. I just think that there's some areas that we could tweak a few things to help you get to that next level. On the compensation plan, I would definitely look at seeing how you can maybe change that up a little bit and maybe make it a little bit more appealing for the sales guy and also for you, so that maybe less money on the front side and more money for them producing from that standpoint. Have you looked at restructuring that? Because if I was a sales guy, for me personally, it wouldn't motivate me that much. That's just me speaking out, looking at it. I think that might be a problem with the retention that you might be having.
Yeah. This is the first guy that I've done on that structure.
Yeah.
Before I was on a 35, 40, 45 split.
Okay.
35 was brand new. 40
Yeah.
was once they hit higher numbers. 45 was once they were hitting like consistently close to 800 to a million
Yep.
a year.
Exactly.
So this guy, I was like, man, he really wanted a base, and I've been trying to move towards a base for a long time. And I think he loves the base, and he's a real go-getter on trying. I think the first couple months he's gotten on 42 roofs.
Yeah.
So I just need to teach him how to close better. And we keep getting denied. Like we have 7 or 8, like going to appraisal. And I was like, man, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
All his first deals are going to appraisal. And I'm like, that's not what I'm used to. I was like, I don't know what we're doing to make them all so low. Like we got a roof approval and we're like, man, this customer's got to pay on top of his deductible.
Yeah.
Unless we get good results from our appraisal or supplements. But a lot of the other ones, they're just flat out denying them. And I'm like, holy cow. I was not expecting this with 3-inch hail on some of them.
Exactly. Yeah. Something's wrong there for sure.
But I like the profit split because the 50-50 works out great. I've heard companies are still doing that with W-2 employees. They just have a minimum pay, like minimum wage if they don't hit their...
Exactly.
If they don't hit it, they still do 50-50 or 45-55 and a 10% overhead on the office, but they do it W-2. It's been really easy to recruit people if you have a base pay. So my old business partner, he went base pay on all his guys, and he consistently has 4 or 5 sales guys, good sales guys working for him.
Yeah. I think it's good. It is good to have a combination of both. With the right balance. You just got to make sure that they're producing, because it can add up quick too as well when they're not.
Yeah, it's been brutal these first couple months with him. And I'm, dude, once all these appraisals come back, it'll be good for me.
Yeah, right.
And it'll be decent for you too, seeing bonuses left and right. But
yeah,
getting through the first 3 months is the tough part.
As long as you can see results, then it's good. It sounds like it's not a work ethic issue. He's out there working. He's just more or less, he's struggling against dealing with the insurance. And it's not all his fault, for sure. It's like we talked about, the insurance industry is changing. So what needs to happen is we need to figure out how we can get you more retail, because that's the only way that you're really going to be able to survive the storm coming up ahead in terms of the current state of what we're in right now. So I would say it's good to, obviously, you're familiar with the insurance side. I love the insurance side. I love it. It's a love-hate relationship. It's good from the standpoint of it, when you can get a homeowner a roof approved and they only got to come out of pocket for $1,000 to $5,000, depending on what their deductible is. That's a pretty easy sale. But when you're dealing with the insurance company and it's such a long process by the time you get paid, and you got to constantly be fighting with them and supplementing, it can be 6 to 8 months before that claim realistically is closed at the end, where you're finally getting, so you're floating a lot of that time and money and all of that stuff. You're getting a little bit of pay along the way, but you're not getting your big paydays at the end when you finally close out the job and you get the final supplement totals and all that stuff.
It just clicked to me. Are you guys just on retail? Do you just chase really old, junky roofs that are falling apart? Is that if you're door knocking, you're like, man, that one doesn't have insurance left. Like I can tell from the ground.
Yeah, it's there's a need for it all over. So I think the biggest need where you can flip it now is a lot of these insurance companies are requiring that they won't insure it unless that roof is a certain age now. So that's in your wheelhouse. So if there isn't a storm date and there's no storm damage and the homeowner still needs the roof, that's a customer. They have a need and they got to pay for that roof out of pocket. So I would say that's going to help, as long as you're targeting those customers and figuring out how to get to those customers. And a lot of that can be relationships with insurance companies too, as far as like being able to work together, which can be hard. But I did have a lot of insurance company relationships when I was in your industry. And that was good because it went both ways. I would get insurance jobs out of it, but I'd also get the ones where they're like, listen, we can't insure this client. Can you go out there and give them an estimate on what it's going to cost to get a new roof on there. So are you seeing some of that? Are you running into that in your area where the insurance company's requiring a newer roof?
I've had a Family Dollar that was dropped
Yeah.
by one insurance company, and my buddy couldn't write it under farmers.
Yeah.
He was like, Sean, can you go check this out? They were dropped right after they got a 3-inch hailstorm. So I was like, oh, they're dropped, but we can file a claim on their old insurance. And he got to insure the property after they went through the claim. But
Perfect.
I never really thought of all the ones that can't be insured.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, we'll bid those. And
so you're really good at writing blogs too. Think of that too. Just asking AI, write me, you know how to word it, but yeah, that's an idea for you.
No, that's what I was already putting that in my memory bank. I was like, oh, I got a few more blogs to write today.
Yeah, exactly.
For next week. I was like, okay, that's good. I got some new topics other than the normal, hey, what's your roof cost?
Yeah.
And that's something that I added a roof calculator to my website.
Okay.
Like one that they can instantly quote themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to make that show up more, but I think I need to write a blog about the instant estimator.
Yeah.
Because it's really like the homeowners can help themselves out.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, they basically pick their house out and it like measures their house for them. Then it says, hey, if you want a metal roof, you can have this. It's this price. If you want a shingle, then it's this price. And it gives ranges, so you have a good ballpark.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. There's always the option too. You're a very likable guy. I like your work ethic and your ethics and some of your background with being creative on the blogs and going down the AI side. If the roofing becomes too brutal, there's always an open door on this side for you too. I can teach you what we're doing and get you into the marketing with the AI sector side. So cool. That's an option too. So think about that in the back of your mind if it ever gets too hard out there, because the roofing industry is tough right now, man. It's definitely, I feel like I got out at the right time too. It's brutal. So I know your pain, but I would love to be able to help you and obviously be able to survive the storm and not abandon ship. But if it gets to that point, just know that my door's open for you. Give me a call if there's a way that I can help you and get you your own little market in that side of things. As far as there's some really good opportunity on this side right now with the AI marketing too.
Awesome. I've thought about that. I've been like, man, that's pretty awesome. All the stuff that you can share with other companies and roofing. Do you guys only do roofing or do you do other stuff?
Any company it can adapt to any company. I've started with the roofing just because it's the industry that I know and it's where my comfort is. I can speak to guys like you and be able to talk shop to a certain point and be able to relate with one another. But it works for anybody. We've got a snow removal guy that really needs our help with the after hours. He's having a hard time being able to keep people in that spot overnight as far as answering phone calls. So there's voice automated chat bots and stuff like that are getting really good that can basically replace that person that he's paying $60,000 a year that he's got high turnover, that he's constantly having to retrain and train. And so filling that void for him, but then he's at that 5 to 7 million mark and he can't get beyond it. He keeps hitting that wall of where he wants to break through to the next piece, but he's lacking in some marketing areas, just going through as far as what he's done. And sometimes a company owner can only do so much, right? Your day, you only got so much time in your day. So if you're running around chasing your tail, dealing with your current problems that are within your company, your marketing is suffering because you don't have time for it. And you don't have the budget to pay someone to do it, you're stuck, right? You're just constantly chasing the tail around in a circle, which is what a lot of businesses are stuck in that cycle. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get in there and be able to show them results and be able to help a multitude of different businesses rather than just my own, because I do have a good background in scaling and I don't know it all. I really don't. But I'm really good at delegating and I'm really good at putting people in the right places on things that I'm not good at and letting them just do what they're good at. And then if they're not, pulling them off quick. I'm not just letting them stay in that position and drain me dry. You know what I'm saying? If it's not working, I'm cutthroat. I'm not cutthroat, but I'm cutthroat enough where if they're not excelling in that area, I'll pull them off and find another spot of where they could be, or else it's not a good fit for us to work together anymore. And that's just the way it has to be sometimes in business.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it's been a good ride, and I've learned a lot of lessons through the way. I'll tell you more someday of the start of my journey, but this call was more about you. And like I said, I do owe you another call. I want to get a more professional setting where we can get some stuff that we can put out to your socials and that kind of thing. But yeah, some things that I'm thinking of, I would like to help you as much as I can. Obviously, I got to pay for my team to go to work, and it's not cheap. I can't work for free, but I do have some money set aside to be able to help guys like you initially, where we could do some sort of maybe like a Rev-share kind of a thing where we can help you on the marketing side, but we get compensated back as we produce results and the leads come through. I'm not going to do that for very many people, but people that I, and see some value in doing that for. Again, I don't think I have to say it. You're a good dude. So I would love to help you if I can in some different areas. So we'll figure out something that makes sense. Maybe on a smaller scale, I won't be able to give you the full access to everything that I can do, but maybe I can pull some of my team together to help in some small areas, see if we can find some results for you. And then we can do some sort of a rev share and then scale it up from there. If it's working, then obviously we're producing you more money. Then at that point, we'll have another conversation like, all right, Sean, it's time to ante up and pull out the checkbook and write us a check for a little more money so that we can open this up to the full team and be able to scale this out for you.
Cool. No, that sounds great.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
All right, buddy. I'm going to put this through the growth plan and we'll set up another call to review it. And then we can go from there. But I really enjoyed the call, man. You're been a lot of fun to talk to, so I enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Nate.
All right. Have a great day, buddy. Enjoy the weekend, man.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.